Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Adobe Live. I'm Alexander Vidal. I'm here with Colt Solano.
Hi, everyone.
And we're going to be working together on a little design collaboration using Adobe XD. But before that, we'll just check in with the schedule today. If you're just joining us, we've had a full schedule this morning on behance.net/live. So go check that out. We started out the day with a Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Then Mercedes and Julia talks about some graphic design. So go check out those replays. We've also just finished up the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. It sounds really fun today. And we will be reviewing that later, so go check that out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. But today we're going to be doing a design collaboration. We're going to be working on an app, and we'll get a little bit more into the specifics of that later. But first, I want to introduce, I'm working with Colt Solano.
Yeah,
Can you tell
I'm
us
Colt.
a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I work as an interactive design director at Trina Design, located at San Diego, California. On a daily basis, what I do is basically what we're going to do here today. So, from conceptual phase to sitemap and wireframes, and of course, UI designing and turning that into a prototype. And down to my least favorite part, which is presentation to the client. That's always hard, but
Awesome.
In my line of work, I have to do it. And then, outside of work, I love to travel. I actually travel a lot with my wife, but it's been a while since we gone out of the country. But in November, we are actually traveling to France. So
nice.
it's going to be our
Cool.
first time in Europe, and
Cool.
that'll be fun. And
Send in some tips in France. If anybody has any advice, feel free to send some of that on the
please,
chat.
That'll be great.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk a little bit more about your what kind of work you do. We'll talk a little bit more about your workflow, and definitely we're going to dive in and see some more of it later. But I do want to throw out a few of the things we're going to be doing today. In half an hour, we are going to have our chat and win. It's going to be really awesome. We're going to do a little contest, and if you join us for that and do some chatting, you have a chance of winning 100 free
Look at that.
stickers from Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule is awesome. I use them all the time.
Yeah.
Could talk a little bit about them later. So it's a really fun opportunity, so stick with us. That's in half an hour, 30 minutes.
That's great. Actually, I'm using them to print a surfboard sticker.
Oh, awesome.
Which is like 8.5 by 11, so that's going to be huge.
That's
I'm
great.
excited to see it.
Very cool. So we'll do that in half an hour, so stick with us for that. Then later in the day, in the last half hour, we're going to check in on your creative challenge. The XD Daily Creative Challenge today is to design a bubble tea machine or boba tea machine. Do you like
That
boba
sounds
tea?
good. I love it.
Yeah.
I could drink it all day. How about you?
I love tea, and I love the tea they sell there. I'm not super crazy about like the
boba. That's the
bubbles.
best part.
No, and I lived in Taiwan, so I definitely
Seriously?
which
Nice.
is where it started. So I used to drink it all summer. Like I would go get the they have some with like kumquats and citrus, and it gets really hot in Taiwan. So I would definitely drink a lot of it this summer.
Yeah.
So it looks like
Awesome.
we have some people coming to join us on the live chat. That's awesome. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
I see Tori Temple is getting excited about the stickers. Good. Those are super fun. All right. We do have some boba tea fans.
Hi, Joe Dorgu.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
who we got here? Voodoo Val. There you go. She loves boba tea as well.
Awesome. Yeah. What are your let us know what your favorite flavors of boba tea are. Yeah.
Yeah, I
How that's
love
gonna
taro.
influence you.
Taro flavor.
Taro's great in
Honeydew
everything.
is good too.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So I'm super excited to see those. So today we're going to be working on an app. So
Yes.
Colt and I were talking about what kind of app we wanted to create. We're both from Southern California. We both love the outdoors. So we thought it could be fun to do an app that really highlights that. So we're going to be doing an outdoors activity app. I've pulled up on the screen here a little bit of a mood board I created, which is usually how I like to start my projects. I'm also realizing I didn't really introduce myself. My name is Alexander Vidal. I'm an illustrator. I do tend to work a lot with wildlife, the outdoors. I have worked with clients like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the California
There you
Academy of
go.
Sciences, the Smithsonian Museum, and I do a lot of books about wildlife. I have some books out about birds.
Big
And
time over here.
yeah, so I love to work with all themes outdoors, and that was something we saw in common in our work. So we
Yeah.
decided to do an app to encourage people to use the outdoors. So I wanted to pull together some images. That's usually how I like to start.
Same here.
Awesome. Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you have favorite places you like to go look for imagery or?
I always go to Behance, of course, and Design Inspirations. It's
That's great.
one site that I always visit. But yeah, Behance has a lot of good inspirations.
Definitely.
The thing is, a lot of artists are coming from different side of the world, and you get different inspiration from them. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good resource.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I think you should always keep your eyes open for different areas to look for resource. I like to look for a lot of like vintage materials. That's a big source of inspiration for me, as you can probably see here. So yeah, so we were talking a little bit about what kind of app to do, and we decided to do an app in which we could show different places on a map and show what you can do in each area. So we're going to be working on that a little bit later. This is the mood board we came up with. Oh, good. Somebody says they want to go to Yosemite after seeing this. Yeah, that's
Perfect.
Valentina Vega. Yosemite is one of my favorite parks. It's pretty beautiful, isn't it? We are going to be using XD. I see Jerry is asking that. We're going to use a few different apps. I'm going to be using Adobe Illustrator to create some of the icons and some of the illustration.
And I'll be using Adobe XD.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're going to
for turning his illustration into the app.
Perfect.
The mobile app.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome. Yeah, so we will be also talking some of the specifics about designing for mobile. That has its own unique challenges, but that can also be pretty fun to work with.
Yeah. Super excited. Can't wait to see you illustrate.
Oh yeah, thank you. So yeah, so here's our mood board. We kind of started. I wanted to pull some of the colors that had a little bit of a vintage feel. I like that sort of slightly muted palette. So I've pulled up two here. This first one is probably a little too brown, especially for mobile. You want something with a little bit of energy. The second one, I started to pull out some colors. I usually use that as a starting point. I find that once I actually start doing the illustration and start seeing things as an icons, I tend to find that the colors do need to be adjusted. So again, this is just sort of a starting point. I pulled a few colors from here from some of the posters. Some of the old WPA posters, those are great. Some old Boy Scout guides and some vintage postcards.
It's very California.
Yeah, definitely. That's the vibe we're going for. So yeah, that's how we started out. Do you want to talk us through some of your process of developing the wireframes for that?
Sure. So again, I start with this process as well, just getting the visual inspiration going. And then from there, I sketch it out. Even before doing the digital wireframe, I always
usually sketch digitally, or how do you?
Oh no, just paper and pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps. It helps me a lot.
Yeah, some people can go right into the computer and start working. For me, that I need to see it on paper first.
Right. It doesn't have to be super refined. It could be chicken sketch.
Yeah. Totally.
But that way you could visualize, the flow right off the bat, without getting hung up with the tool you're about to use. Should we pull up the wireframes?
Yeah. Do you want to pull up your screen?
Let's see here. All right. So right now I'm using Adobe XD. We're going to start from the scratch building the travel app. We're actually going to need your help, guys, to come up with the name of the app.
Yeah.
So basically, again, it's the travel app that you can pick different activities from one specific destination.
Yeah, so things like hiking, bird watching, sailing. So this app would help you locate on a map. Say you go to a new area and you've never been there. You can open this up, look at the map, and it'll show you all the different things you can do in that spot. So it could be a great way. Maybe you're traveling and you haven't really planned that much.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you could also see. Also, sometimes, even when I tend to find even when I travel, once you actually get to a place on the ground, even if you've done research, there's always surprises. So it's nice to have something like a mobile app that's with you that can kind of respond. Whereas, if you've done all your internet research before, you get there and you see it's actually totally different than you planned.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. There are some of my buddies, Cody, Stacy. What's
awesome.
up?
New people checking in with us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this is live, really.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started here. So we're gonna do a mobile app.
So be thinking about names. What could we call this?
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's start with. So they just came up with the new iPhone. So I wonder if that's gonna be a different resolution or.
It's a fun challenge of the constantly new.
So since this is gonna be a mobile in
Vamos.
XD.
I like that. Tori Temple suggests we could call it Vamos. That's a great name.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's got a good
Vamos.
personality.
Yeah.
Peaks. All right, we've got some good puns here from Johnny Edmondson. That's a good way to go.
Peaks.
Peak
Nice.
Peaks, yeah. There we go.
Vamos is really cool. I like that. All right, so let's get started here. So, are we going with Vamos or Peaks?
I think let's give him some more time. Or do we
Okay,
need a
alright.
name now?
No, let's use Vamos for now.
All right, let's
and
use
then we
Vamos
can
for now.
decide
It's a good
later.
one. I like that it's short, it's fast, it has a catchy sound.
Yeah.
Good job, Tori.
We can even include the exclamation point.
Yeah, I like
part
that.
of-
It gives it some personality.
Yeah, exactly. Vamos. Oh, too big. So right now we're just doing the wireframes. It's not gonna be the final look and feel in any way. So again, the goal of the wireframe is really just to test the flow and see where the content falls and making sure the content falls into the right places. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Vamos.
And while he's working, I just want to put another plug in. If you have not checked out the XD challenge, be sure to go get in there. You probably still got some time to work up a design. I'm super excited to see those later. Just to remind you, that is to design a bubble tea maker. So I think there's going to be
Nice.
some fun ones out of that.
So maybe we need some placement for some content here. Maybe like a little description about the app that we're doing. 16. And I have this plugin in XD called Content Generator. So here you could, instead of just typing, you could just fill it with content right off the bat. It's
Yeah.
just great text.
Yeah, some of those things are great. I mean, sometimes I feel like if you get too caught up thinking about these very specific details, it can really slow your process down.
Right, exactly.
So it's good to just have something you can kind of throw in quickly and kind of keep working, and then go back later as you're refining it.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So we'll just edit it here, vamos. And then, so I'm thinking maybe this could be the loading part of the app.
Okay,
So once you
yeah.
get to the app, we're gonna skip the onboarding process. It's just really signing in and making your profile. For this session, we're just gonna focus on the meat of the app and show you the flow and the actual interaction of the app. So here, this is gonna be the loading screen. I like naming my artboard so it's clear.
Yeah, that's definitely a good. I try to name all my artboards. If I'm being really careful on a project, I try to name my layers. It just helps make organization
Yeah.
so much easier, especially if you're working on a collaboration with somebody else later.
Seriously, yeah.
Doing those things makes a big difference so that somebody else can get into your files and figure out exactly what's going on. They don't have to go digging through things. It also, for a designer, I tend to find if the more careful I am with my files, the better they're treated later. So that if I don't make the effort early on, sometimes people will go in and later when they're doing the collaboration and they kind of make a mess of it. So
Right. It's nice to be, organized right off the bat. It's efficient. So right now I'm just doing this little trick to get the loading look and feel. It doesn't have to be perfect right now, but this is something I do. Maybe just too much. Keep it one tiny. There you
Cool.
go.
Sounds like we have a few people participating in the challenge. I'm really excited to see what you guys are working on. It's gonna be really fun to see.
Loading. All right. So after it loads, we're gonna go to the next step, which is, this is where you pick the location. So from here, you can set your location, your current location, or somewhere else.
Yeah.
We'll call this.
So one of the places was there was Crystal Cove State Park. You could use that as a starting point.
Yeah.
So that's located in Orange County. So we're both from Southern California. It's a lot of great outdoor activities.
Yep.
Let us know what your favorite things to do outdoors are. I know it can be sometimes a little hard as designers. We're so focused inside and we're so often have our head down on screens. But I think it's really important to, when you can, get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
Wherever you are in the world, there's always, lots of great different outdoor activities. I'd love to hear what you guys like to do on your days off.
Let's see. Let's say Tori. There you go. Let's use that name. Hi, Tori. So this is pretty much when you.
Skiing.
yeah, when you reach the app, and then you get to do some, get to set your location. Let me do this real quickly.
Fishing and camping. Yeah, camping is one of my favorite activities. I just got back from a few weeks in Alaska, and I did a lot of camping. It was a lot of fun.
You've been everywhere, huh?
I try.
Hectic schedule. Never been to Alaska.
Michael's favorite activity is going back inside.
Oh, I love that. Been watching a lot of shows lately.
Yeah.
I'm between 2 shows right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to have those. Yeah.
I think I'm watching Mindhunter and Chernobyl.
Ooh, dark. Wow.
Yeah, pretty heavy stuff. But
I could see if you're
pretty
watching
interesting.
Chernobyl, you might not be wanting to spend a lot of time outside. You might be hiding under.
It gets me
downstairs in the
so
basement.
paranoid. Like I feel like I'm getting sick too just watching the show.
Joe Dorgu asks, "What's a day off?" And that is a very good question. I think, especially for designers, I'm sure so many of you find just to keep up with projects, you have to spend day and night, and it can be hard to take even even take an afternoon off can be difficult. So yeah, definitely.
So I might do a little icon here. This is kind of the trick I do in XD to do the location pin icon. So do a little circle and then another maybe circle with different color. Let's see here. Whoop. If you double click this, you get these pins. You can delete the points. Just a little shortcut and pull that a little bit. And then select both, and then I guess you could do this. There you go. There we got the location pin.
So just in case anybody is just joining us, to catch up, we are working on an app together. My name is Alexander Vidal. I'm an illustrator. I'm here with Colt Solano. He's a UI UX designer. And we're working on an outdoor themed app to help you find some different activities to do outdoors. And so in the chat, we're also discussing some different outdoor activities. See, Valentina recently moved to Los Angeles, and you're looking for some recommendations.
Oh, there it is.
Los Angeles, I mean, it's, we're known for our smog, and we're definitely known, as a pretty big city, but it also has a lot of really great outdoor spaces. One of my favorites, and I think it's really underrated, is the Santa Monica Mountains. Depending on where you are in Los Angeles, it can be a little bit of a trek. It's kind of further west, but it's some of the most beautiful part of Los Angeles. It's really great. And a little bit closer in the city, we've got Griffith Park, which is great.
Nice.
Really easy hikes. Do you have any favorite places around San Diego?
Yeah. So I love La Jolla.
La Jolla's
Jolla
beautiful.
Cove, yeah. So there's a lot of good places to eat there, especially the cliff.
Oh, okay, nice.
The view. You
Yeah.
can do whale watching.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kayaking, and you can even surf at the beach.
Oh, cool. Kayaking.
But yeah, lots of good places to eat too. What do you think about this set mile radius? So maybe when you set your current location, you could also set maybe 5 mile radius from where you at, or 10 mile, and then from there it will gather data of places to visit.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially if you're traveling, you might not always have a car, so being able to set a closer radius could help find things you could potentially get to a little bit easier.
Yeah. So here's a little trick I do in XD. So instead of recreating this, there's a tool called Repeat Grid. So when you click that and expand this, it'll just... Actually, just kidding. I have to include the label. Okay, there it is. Repeat Grid. And when you expand this, you get everything here.
Wow.
Then you can adjust the spacing.
Nice.
So it's very efficient.
Yeah.
And you could always change this without affecting the first one. So 10 mile, maybe this is 20. And this is 30. Cool. And then of course we need a final CTA to submit all the data. Let's make that a different color, just to be clear. Have you ever joined the Creative Jam?
I've attended. Yeah, I have didn't participate, but I did go to see it. I had some
Okay.
friends who participated. It was really incredible.
I feel like I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
I did it before.
Oh, okay, good.
It's fun. You should try it.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour on-the-spot competition.
Okay. Wow, it's a challenge.
Yeah, the hardest part is they're gonna give you the theme on the day of the competition.
Okay. Wow.
So you don't have time to
It's
prep.
Project
research.
Runway or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So this reminds me of it, but just live streaming.
Cool. This is looking great already. I mean, I like, it's super clear. Looks like it'd be easy to use.
Let's go.
Still working, kind of blocking things out in black and white, grayscale. That's a good way to help sort of see that everything's working before you really get into some of the final design details. Really just thinking about the UI, UX. So
Cool.
It's great. It's looking good.
So we got the location screen. Now we're jumping into the map. So after you set your location, set your mile radius, you're gonna get to like an overview of the map where you could see the location pins. And from there you could choose the location.
Perfect.
Where are we going again?
We're going to start out at Crystal Cove State Park. So that's in Orange County.
Crystal Cove.
It's kind of almost halfway between us. I'm in Los Angeles. He's in San Diego.
Cool.
Yeah.
Crystal Cove. Whoop.
All right, guys, we only have about 10 more minutes before our chat and win. So if you are just joining us, today we're doing a chat and win for 100 free 3x3-inch die-cut stickers from Sticker Mule. So that's it's about 8 minutes. So stick with us. It'll be a fun challenge.
Yeah.
You can win some stickers. So you've made stickers with Sticker Mule?
I'm currently, but I
awesome.
heard they're really good. The quality's really good.
Quality's great.
I'm actually doing that for printing a sticker for a surfboard, so it has to be weatherproof.
Wow, yeah.
And apparently they're doing weatherproof stickers. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
So the quality is really good.
Do you know what you're going to do for the design? Have you already got that?
Yeah, it's getting printed right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might get the shipment maybe tomorrow or
excited to see how this
on
turn out.
Friday. Yeah. We'll share it online.
Awesome. I use Sticker Mule all the time. I'm an illustrator. I do a lot of self-promotion, so I tend to like to send things to art directors. Sometimes I'll send a sticker along with something just so it has a little bit more personality than, say, just sending a postcard. I think it helps to send something that they can hold on to. Mm-hmm. Sticker Mule, you can make really fun die-cut stickers. You can do them in shapes.
Yeah.
I did one shaped like a taco truck that was a lot of fun. Sent that out to a lot of people.
Nice.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have made stickers, how those turned out. Yeah, we've only got about 7 more minutes before our chat and win.
So right now I'm just doing a link back to setting location. And then I'm just gonna do a really quick rough map over here. Whoever did that. There we go. I'm not a master of illustration.
Perfect.
Like Alexander over here, but I'll try. Keep that simple.
Nice.
And then I'm just gonna reuse the location pins that we did earlier.
Awesome. So Julia made some stickers. Julia, what stickers did you make? How did you use them?
Very happy.
Yeah, that's good.
That's always good.
So if you stick with us for a few more minutes, you have a chance to win 100 free stickers. Sticker Mule.
Cool. All right, so I got the location pins going on.
This is already looking good. I mean, I think something that's great about UI and UX is if it's working well and if it's clean, it starts to look good even before you really get into the design. So it's already looking pretty great.
Yeah, the best part is really, you're setting the expectation on what the final look is going to be.
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway here is really the flow, and that's the biggest goal in wireframing. And test the user flow, make sure you don't have so many clicks to get into the information that you're looking for.
And you want the information to be super clear,
Exactly.
exactly what they need to do to progress.
Exactly.
That's great.
So this blue area right here, this is going to be our current location. All right, so let's see here. I'm just gonna do location 1. Or not, I'm gonna do destination. Is that better? Destination.
Valentina wants to get a sticker of her cat. Sounds great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How would you do that, Valentina? Would you do like a photo sticker, or would you illustrate it? Lots of different options with Sticker Mule. We've got about 5 minutes before our chat and win, so stick with us for that.
They do die cuts too, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Really fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like we've got a lot of cat fans. Do you have any pets?
No. We used to have a dog back in the Philippines though.
Oh, okay. Dogs are great.
Yeah, I love dogs. But once in a while we dog sit.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's a nice way to do it. You get the fun of a dog without all of the
Exactly, yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah. So also another trick in XD, you guys probably just saw how I created the pins and repeated them. What we can do also is turning one into a component. So if you click Make Component or Command K, there it is. So instead of repeating this, and then if you have to edit one, you have to edit everything. If you make one as a component, you edit that component and it affects the rest.
Smart.
So for example, let me redo this. I can select it, there it is. So now that this is a component, I can copy and paste it or just drag. So now there are all instances of that master component.
Awesome.
There it is, one more over here. And now if I edit the master component, let's say I want to edit the shape, so it affects everything.
Oh, cool.
Versus dealing one by one, which is
Yeah.
not efficient.
Be super tedious.
Yeah. All right, so we got our location set.
We've got some controversy heating up in the chat. Some people like cats, some people don't. It's getting intense.
I don't know, where am I gonna weigh in on that?
Oh, I don't know. You're gonna take a position. I like both, but I like
I love
animals in general. So.
yeah, I love watching cats play.
Oh yeah, cat videos.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Definitely great.
As a pet, I'm not so sure.
Uh-oh. Just weighing in on the controversy.
So we got the destination screen.
And you don't use Twitter, do you?
No.
All right, that's probably good, because otherwise everybody would be following you on Twitter just to tell you how wrong you are not to like cats. I am on Twitter, but I do like cats, so.
But I haven't really tried, so I might be wrong, you know.
Yeah. I have 2 dogs. Unfortunately, my dogs are not really outdoor dogs. I have a French Bulldog
Oh, nice.
and a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. So I love them, but I can't really take them hiking. They get like exhausted after 10 feet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're both kind of old.
How old are they?
They're both about 10 to 11 years old. Yeah, I actually got the
Dog
French
years,
Bulldog, or human real
years.
years.
Oh,
They're
wow.
old dudes. I actually got the French Bulldog in Taiwan and brought him back with me. So
That's
I've
crazy.
had him for a long time.
Taiwanese, nice. Crystal Cove. All right. So here we reach our destination. I'm just gonna call this map, and this one's the destination page.
So just to be clear, at this point, you're not yet thinking about any of the design elements.
No.
I mean, in terms of like typeface, color, you're just thinking about UI, UX, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like where the placement, where the content falls, and you can kind of see the flow right away. Yeah, we're gonna do the design. We're gonna hit on the design really hard maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
So tomorrow we're gonna do some illustrations
Oh,
today. As
sorry,
well.
it's time for the chat and win.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. I think we've got- All right, welcome back. So let's do our chat and win. See who won 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule.
That's a lot.
Yep, 100 stickers.
Let's see here. Cats are cold-blooded assassins.
Do we have a name?
Nah,
for
it's
that?
Joe Dorgu. I'm with you, I think.
Do we have a name for the winner? Oh, sorry.
Let's see.
So yeah, I use Sticker Mule all the time. They make some great products. I think there's gonna be some fun opportunities for whoever wins this.
Do we have examples of the stickers? I want to see them.
I know. I was realizing I should have like stuck some on my computer before I came.
I wonder what kind of stickers they're gonna get, but I'm sure they're all.
All right,
all
Tori
awesome.
Temple, congratulations! You've been really
Nice.
active in our chat today, so I think this is definitely a deserved win.
Congratulations, Tori.
Tori, let us know, what are you gonna do with your stickers? What are you gonna put on them? I can't wait to hear.
Sweet, sweet.
Yep, that's awesome. So if you did not win today, you still have an opportunity to get some stickers. Go check out stickermule.com/AdobeLive19. And they have a deal where you can get 10 stickers for $1, which is great. That's awesome. Especially,
That's a great deal.
if you're thinking of maybe making some stickers, you could make some to use as promotion. You could actually
definitely.
sell stickers, which is sometimes I've gone to like different festivals and fairs and things, you can sell stickers. So if you go there, getting 10 for $1 is a great way to test out a design, see how it looks.
Definitely.
Yeah, they do a great product.
Nice. Congrats
So,
again, Tori.
Congrats.
Good job.
Yes. And so let's
All right, let's
get back to our
to
design.
this.
But Tori, definitely let us know, what do you think you're doing? All right, so yeah, how's that coming?
Good. Where are we? Destination page. Okay. Maybe we need a little description about this place. I'm just gonna copy and paste that from the previous artboard. And also, while we're doing this, feel free to ask questions about XD. We're happy to address them.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that's a lot of text. All right. Crystal Cove.
Oh, Tori's thinking of making stickers of her daughter's drawings. That's such a sweet idea. That sounds great.
That's
That'd probably
awesome.
be a great gift for people too. I can imagine everybody would love that.
All right. Cool.
Stacy does ask, what font are you currently using?
This is Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham
Yeah.
is a great one. So again, we're not really yet focusing on, that's a totally fair question. We're not yet focusing on what typeface we'd be using for the app, but I do actually love Gotham. I use
Yeah,
it a
that's my
lot.
default font.
It's a
for
great
everything.
one. It has a great, it's readable, it's clean, it still has a little bit of personality, which is nice.
Yeah.
I tend to find, so I do occasionally work with typeface and fonts, even though I'm mostly an illustrator. Gotham, I think, works really well with illustration. It has enough personality to stand up on its own without, feeling overpowered by the illustration, which is really important.
It's really readable as well.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I'm also doing, I've been doing this for a while. Sometimes I skip the grid. But you could always set the grid here on the right-hand panel of Adobe XD. Right now, by default, it's 4 columns. It's okay for mobile, but for desktop, it could be up to 12 or whatever you guys really prefer. And then you can also adjust the margin here. So right now I have 36 side margin, but that could be, I always do 30. There you go. So it's either you could do column grids like you're seeing right now, or you could just do grids like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do this for UI designing nowadays as well.
Do you have a preference?
I'm just used to using the traditional columns.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I bet the square grids is handy as well. So this square right here, this is going to be our placement for your illustration.
Okay, cool.
And again, we're not designing at this point. The illustration could also fill up the whole space.
Yeah.
Behind the text.
Awesome.
So here we're gonna have a CTA to maybe see activities or discover.
Yeah, what would be some good wording? Discover, that has a nice sound
Discover.
to it. So if you are just joining us again, we are working on collaborating for an app. I'm Alexander Vidal, I'm an illustrator. I'm here with Colt Solano. He's a UI UX expert, and he is working on an app. The idea behind our app is we want to encourage people to go out and explore the outdoors.
Yeah.
So this is an app that you could open up wherever you are and find out what are the nearest outdoor activities. Things like hiking, kayaking, bird watching, surfing, skiing. Give us some other ideas. We need to generate a list.
Right, yeah.
So hit us up in the chat and let us know what other things you like to do outside. What else should we include in the app?
All right, so right now I'm designing the activity page. So just a quick recap here. We got the loading screen going on.
That's looking great.
And I'm going to prototype this in a minute. After this, you get to the location screen. This is where you get to set your current location and set your mile radius. After that, you get to the map. This is where you could choose your destinations. Each destination will have sets of activities. But for this session, we're just going to do maybe one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One destination. And you get to the destination page, which is now Crystal Cove. And then we're going to have illustration by Alexander Vihir. And then we're going to get more illustrations from him for all the activities.
Crystal Cove sounds also kind of like a drag name. Be a good drag queen. Which is also a good outdoor activity, drag queen. Let's see, we have some people who like rock climbing, swimming, trail running, that's fun, yeah. Zip lining, camping, Pokemons, yeah. Do you go outside to hunt for Pokemon?
I never played that game, do you?
No, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you find Pokemon in real life, I don't know. When I was up in Alaska, I was constantly looking for wildlife. And I mean, there's lots of like big things like grizzly bear and moose. Mm-hmm. But I also got really excited about seeing the tiny little things. There's this animal called a pika that's like about, I don't know, that size. It's related to a rabbit, and I think I was probably the only person on the hiking trail that stopped to watch these guys for like 40 minutes.
Funny.
It's kind of like it's basically like a real life
Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu. Yeah. Oh, so somebody asked, do we have Behance profiles? We are both on Behance.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thanks for asking.
Check us out and connect. We'd love to see what you're working on. Check out what we're working on.
Yeah, my Behance handle is behance.net/Colt Solano. It's just basically my first name and last name. How about your Behance?
That's a great question. I'm on it there as Alexander Vidal, so feel free to look me up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you could search for it.
Definitely. Yeah, do you use Behance a lot?
I do, yeah. But I think it's an overdue now. I have to upload new work.
Yeah.
It's very time consuming, especially if you're working on your own portfolio.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah,
That's
I got to do
important.
that anytime
Yeah, it's great
soon.
to update. Oh, thank you, Tima. That's awesome. Thank you.
There you go. Mountain biking from John Eldard.
Oh, and look,
Nice.
and Voodoo Val has found my website. That's me, alexandervidal.com. So you can see
Perfect.
some of my illustration work that also needs to be updated, but it's got most of my work up there. Yeah, keeping a portfolio online is really important. Behance definitely makes that pretty easy. It's really easy to get stuff online, and that's super important. It's great to be creating work, but then you need to share it with the world.
Right.
Especially, as a working designer, it's super important to keep a good online presence.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make it so that people can find you for work, and Behance is a great way to do that.
Exactly. And kind of similar to what we talked about earlier, it's a great resource for inspiration.
Definitely.
Again, creatives in Behance are coming from all over the world, so definitely a great spot for research.
Yeah. So we did, let's see, how do you plan fonts for longer names and wording? Cornelian Block asks, what if the user's name was longer and would potentially disrupt an otherwise clean design? That's a good question. That's a challenge, definitely.
Yeah,
right?
especially for mobile, we only have so much real estate to work with. So we could always prepare it, space-wise, making sure you have enough space around that text area. So when they code it, you have space for overflow text. But really, in reality of it, if it's really long, there's really nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna, flow to the next line. But yeah, again, for mobile, it's extra challenging to prepare for longer names, but space is just really the answer, enough space for text.
We have some good support for limited color palettes. I do love limited color palettes. I think they're great, especially, it makes an illustration or design super readable, I think.
Yeah.
I love working with color. So, yeah. We do have a question from Julia. She asks, regarding the difference between UX and UI, do many people do both, or do they only do one or the other? It's interesting.
It's always both. When you do UI, you're pretty much doing UX in the background because you're always thinking about the flow, and that's experience.
Right.
title-wise, some people have just UI designer title. Some people have UX. I mean, UX is pretty broad. A lot of people are doing UX as part of their research, gathering data, and then they call that UX designers as well. But UI and UX designers, it's pretty much the same. It comes hand in hand together. I don't think you can do UI designing without being influenced of being UX designer.
Yeah.
But you could also do just UX design, or UX research. And again, that's dealing with more research and analytics behind the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing UI UX design?
Quite a while now, maybe around 9-10 years.
That's great.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Did you do other design work? Like, did you start out in graphic design, or did you go straight into UI UX?
Yeah, definitely. Started with graphic design, and then went to school for web designing.
Oh, awesome.
And then from there, I got introduced to UI designing. Back then, I'm using Photoshop for UI designing.
Yeah.
And I used Photoshop for a while.
I mean, I'm sure in the past 10 years it's changed so much. The technology changes all the time.
Yeah.
And there's new software all the time.
Exactly. But when I got introduced with XD, I never looked back and never used Photoshop again for UI designing. It's just using XD, it's just make my processes really efficient.
Yeah.
And saves me a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So Vidal does have a suggestion about the names. Vidal suggests that instead of having people use their own names, you could have them come up with a username. Which is not a bad idea. So they could come up with a name, so it could be their own name if it fits, or they could come up with something else.
Definitely.
It's not a bad idea. I think that could work.
All right.
So this is coming together pretty well. I think this is already looking great.
Cool. What else can we add here? So activity page, you get to that page with hiking, and then so what's gonna happen here is user can swipe horizontally and they could see different activities. Yeah. So right now we're starting off with hiking. Maybe the next one could be swimming or camping.
Surfing, sailing, camping, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Right, but the experience is the user can swipe left or right. What else information we can add here? So we got hiking, maybe your illustration goes here.
Yeah, while you're thinking about that, I do see we have Ileana in the comments. She's a great friend of mine and an incredible illustrator.
Right on.
Hi, Ileana, you should tell us in the comments, are you on Behance? I mean, I know you have incredible illustration work everybody should be looking at. So Ileana, tell us, are you in Behance? But you also ask, as an illustrator, do UI or UX UI designers seek me out to collaborate with them? Not necessarily designers specifically, but I have been approached by design agencies, and I've worked for 1 or 2 companies who have UI UX designers who have hired me to do illustration and some simple graphic design for them, partially because, as you mentioned, my illustration style works pretty well with UI UX and graphic design. My illustration style is pretty simplified.
I love it.
I work with really stylized illustration, and so I think it does lend itself well. Oh, and Ileana, so you are on Behance. Awesome. So everybody should check her out too. Her work is beautiful. She has a book out recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Really beautiful.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. So here, right now, I'm designing the placement for the icons. So this is just a supporting element for the user flow.
Okay.
If any case they miss that, it's swipeable, they have the navigation here as a supporting navigation. So they could just click, or tap, because it's going to be in mobile, and then it will automatically slide to that specific activity. So right now so we're going to be designing icons here as well with Alexander. But yeah.
Yeah, so this is a 2-day event, so today is day 1. Today we're mainly focused on the UI UX, setting up a workflow, getting that in place. We're going to do a little bit of design today, but if you join us again tomorrow, we'll really be getting into the illustration. Hopefully we'll be taking some of the illustration into animation using XD, which I'm super excited to see. So we'll be really bringing all the pieces together tomorrow. Today we're really starting to set things up. Just a reminder as well, if you're just joining us, in the last half hour of the program, we're going to be looking at some of your Adobe design challenges. So we're going to see today's challenge is to design a bubble tea machine, a boba tea machine. And I am very curious to see how those are going to turn out.
That'll be interesting.
That's happening in about 45 minutes or so. So super excited to see that. If you have not gotten started on that, maybe you still have a time, maybe you still have a chance. So I would go to behance.net/challenge/XD to check that out. And I do not have it up, but I would definitely check that out. I would love to see how those are going to turn out.
Cool. So right here, we're going to do that same trick, which is we could just double up the grid instantly. How many are we doing? Maybe 3, 4?
So Voodoo Val has an interesting point. She says she doesn't want to see, and I'm saying she, but I don't actually know. Voodoo Val says that they do not want to see biking on their map every time that they use the app because they know they don't like that. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, that might be a little bit more advanced
Keep
in
that
terms
in
of
mind.
the design, but that could be a good option that you could potentially set a filter. So you could select at the start what do you like to do, and it could maybe only show you those things.
Exactly.
It's not a bad idea.
What are the activities that we are doing?
So I would
we
say
got
hiking, sailing.
Sailing.
It's a little bit, I mean, it's probably a harder one to get started on, but it could be fun. How about whale watching?
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Has anybody here done any whale watching?
I have not actually.
No. Have you seen any from San Diego?
No, I wish.
Yeah, it's a little hard here, right? Sometimes, some places you can see them right from the coast. I think in California we have, such busy shorelines, it can be a little bit harder. So whale watching, let's see. What's another one? What do you think? Swimming?
Yeah,
we have a lot of
surfing?
water ones. Surfing,
Or
yeah, surfing would be
We
good.
did surfing.
Yeah. So this is great. So hiking, sailing, whale watching, surfing. So we've got a set here, some possible activities.
All right. So
All right, good. I'm glad Voodoo Valley got the gender right, but let me know if I do say anything wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments.
yeah, if we're going fast too,
She's a magical
demoing-
voodoo woman. So.
Yeah, just let us know so we can kind of slow down and.
Yeah, and definitely let us know if you have questions too.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially while Colt's working, if you have any questions about his process. So it's great to see it all together. So do you want to walk us through, especially for people who
Sure.
are just joining us, what do we have here on the screen?
So right now, again, we have the loading screen on the left, which is this guy. After it loads, it will automatically go to the location screen. This is where the user can set their location and their current location, and also set their mile radius. Once they selected that, they will go to the map, the overview map of the destinations. The blue here is your current location, and then based on your mile radius that you set from the previous screen, you get all the destinations here.
Awesome.
So right now we are doing, maybe let's just name this Crystal Cove.
Perfect.
Crystal Cove. So we're doing this destination. Once you select that, you get to the destination page. From here, you could discover different activities. And then from here, you could browse through and see all the activities that you could do in this specific destination. So we pretty much have the meat of the app.
I think that's
what am I
looking
gonna
great.
do is I'm just gonna prototype this real quickly. So from there, we could really visually test the user flow.
Cool.
And from there, we'll see if everything makes sense.
We have some more great suggestions of activities. We have a lot of adventurous people out there, apparently. People who like to skydive, bungee jump, parachutes. Have you done any of that?
I skydove once.
How was that? That sounds terrifying.
At first, yeah. The scariest part is when you are standing at the edge of the plane.
Yeah, I bet.
But once you jump, it's all fun. Because you can't do anything
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, but when
All
you're
you
up there
gotta
and
do
you
is-
still have to like actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Thanks, Julia. She said she's loving the design.
Yeah, it's looking great.
But this is going to look better tomorrow because we're going to plug in all Alexander's illustration, and we're going to design the UI as well. So for XD users, or if you are new in XD, so right now we just finished doing the wireframes, and we're going to turn that into an interactive prototype where you can actually click and go link to the next page.
Awesome.
To be able to do that, you go to the prototype up here. There it is.
Our app, by the way, is called Vamos, which was a
Vamos,
user-suggested name. I've already
I love
forgotten
that.
who suggested it, but it was a great suggestion.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a great name. I think it's super catchy, super easy to remember.
And then we're gonna link this to the next one.
Awesome.
All right, so that will dissolve. Let's do 6. And then you have your interaction panel on the right-hand side as well. You could pick the destination here, or you could just do manually like what I did. Boop. From location screen, this button will trigger the map, and I'd like that one to slide left. And add some easing, 0.6, that's perfect. And I'll do the same animation here. If you click this pen, it will go here, slide left, same easing, same time. Let's see here.
We do have a comment about components. Were you working with components when you did the icon of the map, or?
Yeah. So right now here is a component. Let me show you again. So we have a master component here. So what it does is it saves you time when you have to edit an element. So when you edit the master component, it affects all the instances. For example, if I make this bigger, there you go, it affects everything.
Looks great, just like that.
Yeah, versus editing one by one. So that's a very handy tool.
Yeah.
Especially if you are doing a large application that includes a bunch of pages.
Yeah.
That saves you time.
Yeah. Totally.
What's up, Damien? How are you doing? I saw you this morning. Let's see here. So right now we're currently prototyping this wireframe so we could test the user flow. Let's see where we at this moment. So we just linked this destination to this page, and we're gonna link this back to this page. Link this link.
So we've got some great feedback. I love that you guys are sharing Behance portfolios with each other, showing what you guys are working on. That's awesome.
Right. Discover activities.
I also like that you're trading some advice about bungee jumping and skydiving. I think that's great. I do really think it's important as designers. I mean, we spend so much time inside to get outside when we can. I know our schedules are crazy busy.
Get a breather.
Yeah, it helps. I feel like it makes my design so much better if I can.
Seriously.
And sometimes I do it to force myself. Like, I get up and it's like, I know I have a deadline. I know I need to work. But getting myself out to hike or go for a run, it can just make my whole day better. And it does honestly make your design work better later on.
Cool. So let's test this out.
Yeah, excited.
All right. So we got our app here.
Looking great.
I wonder if there it is. It's cleaner this way.
Yeah.
So this is the loading screen. This is where you land when you first open the app. After it's loading, it goes to your profile.
Awesome.
And again, this could be your name or your username. You get to set your location, and you get to pick the mile radius. So here you could swipe left or right. I could animate that as well to show you how it's going to work. Once you click Let's Go and everything's ready, now you get to the map. You get to see all the destination. When you click a destination, it goes to the destination page, which is Crystal Cove. And then from here, you learn about the destination. You see some illustration down here. And when you click Discover Activities, then you get to see hiking, and then you can swipe to see the rest. Let me do that real quickly, just to show you guys how the swiping works using Auto Animate.
Awesome.
So the process is, let's go back to the design platform here. You can duplicate this page. And you could set the end frame. So let's say surfing.
And let us know, what activities do you like to do when you need a break from design? What helps you kind of get out there and recharge? Definitely let us know what you like to do.
I love to sleep.
Sleeping is nice.
Take a
Definitely
power
also a
nap.
good idea.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Cornelian Block says it's quick, clean, and to the point. Great design. Those are definitely
you.
the hallmarks
Yeah.
of good UI UX design. You know exactly what you're doing.
So now I'm gonna go back to prototype. Click this. So we're really keeping this simple and precise for just demo purposes because we're under time constraints. Let's see here. And here, I'm just gonna do drag.
What does drag mean?
So you can actually like swipe left and right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Action, that will be auto animate. Easing none, that's perfect. And then it goes the same way. Let's test this out.
Yeah.
There it is.
Awesome. Yeah. That's great.
Sailing while watching, surfing, then you could go back and forth.
Perfect.
And we could even, so these are going to be icons of all the activities too. So they could even tap this and it will trigger that swipe.
Awesome.
But that's another set of animation.
Cool.
For this demo, we're just going to be focusing on the drag. And then we could do the same thing here.
We have one suggestion.
Yeah.
I really like to go to the beach to read any kind of book. That sounds great.
That's perfect.
Sounds like a good way to recharge.
Yeah.
It seems like we also have some some fiction writing in the comments about potential hazards of skydiving and bungee jumping, some different scenarios being worked out.
Yeah, it's scary. Scary stuff.
Julia and team are coming up with some different possibilities.
Isela loves to try new restaurants.
It's also
Love
good.
to eat good food.
Yeah.
I would do that as well.
Do you have a favorite kind of food?
I love Filipino food.
It's great.
Yeah.
Are there many Filipino restaurants in San Diego?
There's a bunch. Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it?
In every corner. Yeah.
Have they been there for a long? Like in Los Angeles, it feels like. I mean, there's always been some places, and especially some neighborhoods, but it feels like the past few years it's exploded. And
Yeah.
also like lots of different there's still some hole in the wall, some like mom and pop, but then
Right.
there's also like really flashy new Filipino restaurants opening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good variety.
Yeah, recently they're doing a lot of fusion as well, like
Yeah.
Filipino food and compared with some other
Yeah.
food from different countries.
I mean that makes
Yeah.
sense. Filipino food was kind of always it was like an original fusion food in a way, right? Like it always pulled from different
True,
cultures
yeah.
and
Exactly. So let's test that out real quickly. Let's go
it's looking great.
Crystal Cove, discover activities. It's going on a different way, but here now you could swipe
Awesome.
and see the different activities. If you want to go back and pick new destination, you just click this, you're back in the map. If you want to set new location, you just click this, you're back in here. So the set location also, we're thinking it doesn't have to be just in the current location. You can set it in a different location, just in case you're planning ahead and you want to see the activities on the destination that you're going, then you could set it here.
How do you think we would set that? Like, do you think that would be something where they enter text, or what
Yeah.
would be the
Similar
maybe
to
search, or
similar to Yelp when you're searching.
Okay.
You could set that into your current location, or just set somewhere else.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I think
Yeah.
that also works really well because people travel differently and people prepare for trips differently. Some people like to plan everything out. Like they'll get guidebooks and they'll plan every single day. Some people like to just go someplace and figure it out as they're going. So it's nice that the app can work both ways.
Yeah.
You can pull it up in advance and really map out your whole schedule, or you can just go somewhere and figure it out on the spot. So,
Exactly.
I
So
think it's probably important for UI UX that it it responds to lots of different types of people. And
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. We got the meat of the app and You want to demo
Sure, yeah.
some illustrations for us?
Yeah, we can dive into that. We also have about half an hour, less than 30 minutes until we are going to be giving some feedback on some of your designs. So again, if you want to check that out, I would definitely go to behance.net/challenge/XD. That's where they're doing the XD challenge today. And again, that is to design a bubble tea maker or a boba tea maker.
Get on it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Do you have a regular boba tea shop or somewhere you like?
Yeah, somewhere in San Diego called, I'm blanking right now.
No worries.
It's not Happy Lemon. Happy Lemon is really famous, but the line is always out the door.
It's too long.
Tapioca Express, there you go.
All right, that's great.
Yeah, love it.
So just to refresh your mind, so we're going to look a little bit more at the visual side. We're going to play around a little bit with that. This was the mood board we started off with. I tend to always like to create mood boards. I like to pull lots of images together. It usually just helps me think a little bit about the project and sort of what aesthetic I want to take. And it's going to change a lot over the process, but it just helps to get a good starting point. So looking at this, I wanted to pull some of the colors from here. I liked that they were kind of a little bit muted, sort of soft, a little bit more natural. I started to pull some colors from here. We have somebody, Julia, wants to go scuba diving in Australia. That would be awesome. I was thinking about, have you ever scuba dived?
No, not yet.
I was thinking about trying to do the course. It sounds a
fun.
little scary, but it looks so incredible when I see photos underwater.
Right. Yeah.
It looks so awesome. I know some places you can dive with whale sharks. There's giant.
Yes.
It's the biggest shark in the world, but it's
They're
also
friendly.
totally harmless.
Yeah, you could swim with them.
That looks
It's pretty
awesome.
cool, yeah.
It's definitely on my list to do. Well, we've got some great readers. So not necessarily an outdoor activity. You could definitely take your book with you. So that is great that we've got a great list there of some different authors. Timo likes to read, enjoys the classics. Yeah, so we're going to look a little bit at the visual design now that we've got some of the UI UX set up. So this is a little bit of a mood board I pulled up in some of the colors. So I think the place we're going to start is to work on some of the icons.
Sweet.
One of the inspiration points was these sort of Boy Scout badges or Girl Scout badges. I thought that was kind of a fun vibe to give to the app. Were any of you scouts? Any of you do any scouting activities? So we're going to start with that. So we're going to go pretty simple for these. I think one reason I like to start with the icons is because they're going to be so small on the screen that you really need to focus on legibility, visibility. So it really does make you focus on the design. You need to be really clear and readable even when it's tiny. So you want to make sure that there's good contrast, that the shapes are really easy to read. So these are just a few sort of things I was playing around with. Let me know what you think, what icon we should design while we're here. So for example, I have one here with sailing. I don't know, this is a tree. I don't really know what it would be for. There's one for whale watching, and I just barely started one for camping. Yeah, this is kind of an old school tent.
That's why I love simple icons, because you get it right away. It communicates whatever it needs to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Awesome. So I started working a little bit with the colors. I think this one's maybe a little low. I'm looking up at the sailboat here. I think it's a little low contrast. I think it's really important with a small icon that you do really want it to be able to be read really fast, really easy. And especially, you should think about people who's maybe have slightly different visual abilities. You really want it to be clear.
Accessibility.
Even, exactly, yeah, it's super important.
Julia Thun is suggesting fishing icon.
Fishing icon, yeah, that'd be a fun one. Yeah. Do you guys like to fish? I actually haven't fished since I was a kid. I don't know if I do like to see, I love animals of all kinds. I was up in Alaska recently. I got to see some live salmon. They're really incredible to see. I don't know if I could actually do the fishing though. Yeah.
It's funny, Joe Dorgo is asking, have you had balut? Balut?
Is that the egg?
Yeah, with the chick inside.
I have not. Have you?
Yes, yeah.
How was it?
It's good.
Do you just eat as a snack, just like that, or do you eat it with something?
No, you eat it by itself.
Okay.
Yeah, like a snack.
Okay.
It's good actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross when you see the chick inside, but it's very high in protein.
All right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should try it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just playing around a little bit with these, I was thinking about the tent. This is kind of just started this one. It's kind of an old school style tent. Another way to go could be do something a little bit more modern, like a more modern dome tent. Ooh, that color is not going to read at all. I'm gonna pull from.
Do you also sketch before you
So
do the actual
definitely
vector artwork?
Yeah, so usually, even if I'm working in vector, I would generally probably take it to pencil and paper first. That just helps a lot with like working up ideas, coming up with some different possibilities. Actually, camping is usually, focused on what you do at night, so maybe I'll make the background a little bit darker, make the icon stand out a little bit more that way. I have a new tent, so maybe I'll try to illustrate that. So I went camping recently. I was up in Alaska, and before that I stopped on the way in Seattle and went to Olympic National Park. And I was supposed to fly to Olympic National Park that morning, and I was gonna go, I was thinking I would get my campsite midday and be able to set up my tent and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
I had to delay my flight, so I got to my campsite at midnight. It was my first time ever setting up this tent.
Yeah.
And I could not. I was thinking maybe I could I had a rental car. I was thinking I could keep the car lights on to give me enough light, but they kept shutting off.
That is scary.
So I had to set my tent up for the first time in almost complete darkness. I had this tiny lantern this big. But luckily tents now are so easy to set up. Even though I'd never set this one up, it worked out.
Yeah,
so.
I'm always intimidated setting up tents.
Yeah. What does a tent look like?
So there's a question here from Ileana Soon.
Yeah.
So do you make sure that your icons always fit into the colors you set in your mood board, or do you vary the colors away from the palette from time to time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it sort of depends a little bit on the project. So if it's something I'm doing for myself, the colors are usually just sort of a starting point. So I don't necessarily have to stick to them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, though, you'll do work for, say, a client, and there you might either need to establish colors with them early, or you might be working on colors that they supply. So then you do have to kind of stick with it. And that can be a fun challenge. Sometimes, I worked with a client recently that had a library of colors that they like to use, and the contrast in the colors was not great. So it was definitely a challenge to make the illustration readable.
Yeah.
Especially, you also don't want to, with the illustrations I was doing, I didn't want to keep going back to the same colors. So it was kind of a fun design challenge to have to work within some very specific colors, but to still make it work. So it's part of what I like about being a designer. Sometimes in the moment, it definitely felt like more of a challenge than fun, but yeah.
That's how you learn, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna make this one a little bit of a dome tent, just to give it a little bit more modern personality than this kind of old school teepee style tent. Yeah, do you guys like to camp? Anybody else big campers? Anyone have a favorite campsite or favorite national park? I love camping in the national parks. Joshua Tree, if you're in Southern California, is a great one. It's a great one for camping.
Rock climbing too.
Yep. You can sometimes see some animals occasionally, they have bighorn sheep there. They're kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
They're
kind of hard to see because they camouflage.
They blend in so
rocks.
well, and they usually are pretty scared of getting away or getting too close to people. So Vidal loves camping in Fort Bragg.
Nice.
Oh, George is a big fan of Filipino cuisine. Awesome.
Where is Fort Bragg?
Good question. Yeah, tell us more. Vidal.
Never heard of that. So how long have you been doing illustrations using Illustrator?
So I've been illustrating in some form for a long time. I went back to design school about 7 years ago and actually graduated about 5 years ago. I did kind of an accelerated.
Oh, nice.
I did 3 terms a year. And so while I was there, I tried lots of different styles. I worked, with inks and paint, and in general, I just found that Adobe Illustrator works really well for the style of illustration that I do. It's really kind of simplified and graphic. So I've been working with it, I would say most of the past 3 or 4 years. I've been really working on it. Yeah, and it's definitely my favorite tool to use. I think Adobe Illustrator, you can make really great illustrations.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's so many different ways to work with it, which I love. I know some people who work, super graphic, and they work with a lot of geometric shapes, which Adobe Illustrator is great for. I tend to do something that's a little bit of a mix. I like some elements of geometry, but I also like to do some Use the pen tool to make some of my own shapes.
Nice.
And there's different ways to work with texture, which we're going to talk about a little bit tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah, I like to work with texture and a little bit of illustration. Yeah, so we have a lot of people who like camping. That's great to
Yep.
hear.
Justin loves it.
Awesome. So here's a little bit of an icon. So we can see how complex do we want to go. Maybe I'll pull this tree that I created that I don't really have a purpose for up there on his own. Maybe we could see if he could work as part of it, or if it's going to get too complicated.
Oh, that looks fun.
Yeah, so maybe we could work out some way to get them both in there. So today I'm mostly using just the shape tool, partially because I'm not starting with a sketch, which I would normally do, but today I'm working with the shape tool to get some more geometric shapes. Especially for an icon, it's important that it reads really well. I think clean geometry can be really great for icon design. Got a little bit of a camping scene going here.
That's nice.
Let's try some different shades of green from what we've got. Oh, that one's got a little more personality, yeah. All right, so this looks kind of like when I was camping in Alaska. Could also take away some of that ground. Maybe there's a little too much. So yeah, let us know your favorite campsites. So Fort Bragg, California.
Oh,
okay.
there it is.
So it's north of San Francisco in Sacramento. It's a hidden gem in a fern forest.
She said it's super magical.
Well, she's a voodoo Val. She would know. That's awesome. That sounds great. Yeah. So she said giant ferns. That sounds incredible.
Giant ferns.
I mean, I think one of the things that's so great about getting outdoors and doing things like camping and hiking is you find all these places that are maybe so close by, but can just be totally off everybody's radar. They can be so hidden, and it can be really great to discover those places.
And when you're out there, you can barely really think about work or anything else, you know.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, just focus on the environment you're in.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I love about camping is so often campsites, you maybe don't get signal, see your phone.
Yeah,
whereas if I just take a
thing.
vacation and I'm staying at a hotel, I just end up looking at work emails, even when I'm on vacation. Or if I'm traveling in another city, I can still get on my phone, get on Wi-Fi. So even though you're on vacation, it's like you're not really on vacation because you're still thinking about work.
That's true.
So I think camping is great because it really makes you shut everything off, which I think is so good.
I agree.
So now that I've got kind of some bigger shapes set up, I'm just starting to go a little bit into some of the more detail, just to give it a little bit of personality. This is a place where if you wanted to, you could start to bring in some texture.
Yeah.
I think because I'm working just on the icon now, I really want it to be pretty clean and readable even at a small scale. I'll also change that interior shape. Maybe it'll read better. Yeah.
We got some new people joining in.
Awesome.
Hi, Nico. How's it going?
Hey guys, so yeah, if you're just joining us, we are working together. My name is Alexander Vidal. I'm an illustrator. I'm here with Colt Solano. He's a UI UX designer, and we are working on an app that we came up with to help people locate some different outdoor activities they can do. So Colt earlier walked us through setting up the what would you call it? The
wireframes.
The wireframes for that, and now we're starting to get into some of the icon design. And tomorrow we're going to be back, and we're going to really focus on how these two things come together.
It's going to be exciting, yeah.
It's going to be really fun to see these two very different pieces come together. So we're talking also a little bit about outdoor activities. We want to find out where you like to go when you need to recharge creatively. Where do you like to get to? And we also, just so you have this in mind, we have 15 more minutes until our we're going to give some design feedback on the XD challenge, in which you came up with some different designs for a bubble tea maker. I'm super excited to see those. Still got 15 more minutes for that, so you still maybe got some time. Really excited to see what you guys are coming up with. So
it's great that this is vector, because when you import this in Adobe XD, you could still edit it as a vector.
That's great.
And since it's a vector, you could always animate it, change the shape into a different one without really, doing a lot of work. So that's really handy.
Yeah. And while you're watching us work on this, feel free to ask any questions you have about either UI, UX design from Colt, or about illustration or vector illustration from me. We'd love to take any questions you guys have.
Yeah.
So I do tend to work with a lot of geometric shapes, but I also like to give them a little bit of personality. So even though, like right now, this is sort of almost a perfect circle, I like to change things just a little bit, just to tweak it. I think it just makes it a little bit more distinctive. If you take things so that they're not totally perfect, I think that can sometimes help give it a little more independent personality. Ooh, Lena, you like camping in Russia. That sounds great. I'm sure some parts get very cold, but it sounds really cool. Julia says US has so many more cool places to explore than Sweden. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Never been, so.
but I mean, Sweden, you have so many cool places right at your back door all over Europe, right? I mean, I think that's one of the great things about being in Europe is, you can connect. So you're going to Europe for the first time, right?
Yes, in France.
That's awesome.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So if you guys have any tips for him, definitely
Yep.
hit us up in the chats. So can you do a quick overview of how you got to the illustration from kickoff? Sure. So we can also work on another one. So this is kind of a simple camping icon. What was another icon we had? Oh, we had fishing, right?
Fishing, yeah.
All right, fishing. So one way to start would be to do a pencil sketch and take it from there. But today we're going to be working a little bit more with some vector shapes to come up with that. So fishing, let's see. What are some possibilities? What could we show? Definitely a fish would be probably a great place to start.
So when things like this, if someone suggested an idea, do you have it ready in your head already? Like, do you have the idea of what shapes to start with?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few different ways to go about this. Again, I would usually probably take it to pencil to work out some things.
Okay.
I would also look back at my research. Like I mentioned, I'll go back to our mood board. I like to pull together a lot of images. And so here, these are sort of more inspirational images, but I'll also look on sites like Behance to see what other people are doing, to look for very specific ideas about how to use shape language. Today, we're doing a little bit of kind of a faster process, just coming up with something. So for this one, I just created like a vector oval, use the tool to just kind of take those points away. And so we're going to make it into a little bit of a fish, kind of a quick and dirty fish today.
Vidal is suggesting if we could combine the fish and a fish hook.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So you're not just like fish watching, right?
That's so true.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Vidal. Maybe a hook in the fish mouth. Yeah.
Nice. It's amazing to watch you do all this on the fly.
Yeah, I think we should think about colors, though. What colors do you think we should use for this icon? I want to hear some feedback from you guys. What colors can it communicate? Blue will probably be good for the background, just to make it clear that it's going to be water. But what should we do? A fishtail popping out of water. That could be good, too. Yeah, I like that idea.
It's a yellow fin. That's the fin. Nice.
So if we have some some fishermen out there, do you have any favorite spots you like to go? We'll make this guy super lively. So tomorrow we're going to be working on integrating some of these illustrations that we're doing now with our UI UX design. This will be really great to see it come together. We're also going to do some maybe simplified animation. It's going to be fun. All right, this is a very simple little fish.
Nice.
I don't know what species this guy is, but
looks like a fish. So.
Can you tell it's a fish? I mean, that's always a good place to start. So blue and gray. Yellow fish is good. Yeah, I mean, I think yellow works because it's so very clearly visible, which is, again, super important. You really want contrast.
There you go.
Again, I'm working with a little bit of a muted palette to give it kind of a vintage feel. Again, you want to make sure there's some consistency. You want to make sure that some things are reading well together. So let's try it. Yeah, I'll take the yellow from the border here. So we're building up a little bit of a color library now. I could also start to pull some other colors. Do you think the yellow worked better? Yeah.
Yeah, the subtle yellow.
Yeah, maybe something a little bit more subtle.
Darker.
Once we've got the overall shape.
Nice.
Smallmouth bass. That's a good one. Lake Michigan, yeah. The Great Lakes are a great area for that. So fish hook. Let's maybe look.
Fish hook.
All right. So we could also show even just,
like a letter J or something.
Could start off with
there you go.
Change the something super simple. Yeah, so we could change from using the shape tool to using the line tool. Start to do it as kind of a brush. I also, when I am going to keep something kind of a stroke, I tend to like to give it a little bit more personality by using a brush I have a few brushes that I've created. I tend to find when I want to
nice.
create something, I tend to do it by hand and then take it into vector. So for example, for the brushes that I have that are my own, I'd like to like draw a line, scan it, bring it into Adobe Illustrator, and then turn it into a vector shape, and then you can turn that into a brush. Yeah, maybe I
Interesting.
can show some of that tomorrow as well. And so I think for me, that just tends to give it a little bit more personality than, say, a perfect line. But that's partially just the way I like to work. I mean, some people really like, you know, Adobe Illustrator can give you such perfect shapes and such clean lines, and some people really like that, and that's another nice thing. For me, I like to find something with a little bit of personality, and I think there's a lot of great ways to do that in Adobe Illustrator.
Nice.
Don't forget the gills. Oh, right, we want this fish to be able to breathe, right? It's a good idea.
Justin said it's a smallmouth bass.
Maybe that's what we've got here, yeah.
There you go.
So let's see. How should that be? So we could do the line taut, we could do it curved. What's gonna work best? I think maybe curved will give it a little bit more energy than just like a perfect straight line. So I'm just using the anchor tool to kind of give this.
The fish looks like very happy getting caught.
It's a very social fish. It cannot wait to go get up on that boat and join. So I'm gonna expand that. Use the Pathfinder just to create the perfect shape, and then turn that and white. Maybe that's not gonna work.
It's amazing how all the icons looks consistent already, visually.
Started to get a little bit of personality. I was using these little simplified shapes just to add a little personality there. Maybe I'll repurpose them here as some water
waves. Nice. Oh, cool trick.
So that's simple. It's starting to get together. It's starting to come together.
There it is, yeah.
We still need to give this guy some gills, right? Super important. We want our fish to be able to breathe. All right, yes, and so just a reminder, it is a little more than 5 minutes, 7 minutes, we are going to be reviewing the daily challenge submissions. So be sure to get into Discord. I'll pull up Discord just so we can see it. Get into Discord and put them up. I'm super excited to see what you guys are working on. We'll be reviewing some of those bubble tea makers. It's gonna be super fun. Also, let us know in the comments what your favorite flavor of bubble tea is.
And I think part of the challenge too is don't forget to animate some of the liquid in the bubble tea app.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
So,
and you do some animation in XD.
Right, yeah. It'll be fun. So can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
There it is.
We'll try to give this guy some gills.
The gills.
Let's see, it's gonna. Stars on the camping illustration. That's a great idea, especially with the dark sky. That could read really well. Good idea, Julia. Yeah, so once you've got like the basic shapes and you've got that clean and readable, then you can definitely go back in and work in the details. And that's where it starts to really take in life. Maybe 3 gills is too many. Keep it somewhat simple. All right, so yeah,
better.
I like your idea, Julia. Let's try that.
Good call.
So let's maybe pull.
We're doing stars?
Yeah, let's do some simple stars. Yeah, it already feels like it has a little more personality.
Doing the Orion constellation or something.
Oh gosh, yeah. Just to kind of get an even set of stars. All right, it's only a little more than 5 minutes before we are going to be reviewing your daily challenge submissions. I can't wait to see those. All right, what do you think? Anything else we should add in the comment section? Let us know what else we should add to our fishing.
Jamil says now it's looking like a fish has life.
Good.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he's got some life. I do think the fin is not reading super well, right? Especially if it's a little too light, maybe. Let's try some different things. Contrast again is pretty important with something in this scale. You want it to be able to be red. I think a little bit of red in that to make it a little more orange. That might help.
I mean, the shape of the fish is carrying the load right now, just making it obvious.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and from there you could start to think about what do you want to do. Do you want to give it
Bigger
a little more detail?
Oh, there you go.
How much detail is too much detail? Does he need fins?
Oh, that's a nice touch.
So yeah, less than 5 minutes, guys. So make sure you are getting your daily challenge submissions up in Discord. We definitely want to be able to see those, to see what you guys have been working on. Really excited to check those out. So make sure you are getting those up on Discord. It's less than 5 minutes before we're going to be reviewing those. So darker fin looks better. Yeah, I think so too, Valentina. It reads a little bit more, right? It's super important to be making sure it's readable. Also, just as a note, I see this is like slipping a lot. If I'm working on something like this, I tend to do a lot of layers. It just makes things so much easier. So I just cut those and I'm gonna paste them onto a different layer.
Oh, the background, the
Yeah,
circle?
it just makes it easier because I feel like otherwise I'm constantly accidentally moving that. And I can lock it up here, and that way it's just a lot easier and a lot cleaner. So let's
Great.
see. Nope. There's a back fin. Maybe it'll be... Can't decide if that works better. Maybe the fishing line could be brown. That's a good idea. I guess fishing line is usually white, isn't it? I felt like the white didn't read too well, though. Guess I'll try. Oh, I think it's because of the fish. It doesn't read super well. But let's see if it's really white.
That works out too.
Yeah, maybe that works. You can also continue to play with the where it intersects with the mouth.
There you go.
I think there was a little bit of a tangent because it was hitting the hitting
the
that
corner.
the little corner, so that was maybe part of why it wasn't reading too well.
It'll be fun to time lapse this.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a fin coming in. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes before we're going to be reviewing
We're getting
your
there.
design challenges. Yeah, I'm excited to see those, especially if you guys are using some of the animations. I'm curious to see how those are going to look. All right, so we've got a little bit of an icon going forward. Colt, do we want to look at your screen again, just in case anybody's joining us recently? Maybe we can show them Colt's screen just to see what we worked on earlier. Perfect.
So yeah, so this is the wireframe. So from what Alexander's been working on, I will take all the illustrations from him, and I'm gonna apply everything to these wireframes. Again, this is an app for a travel app where you could pick your destinations and pick activities within each destination. And yeah, this is it. Tomorrow we're gonna skin this. We're gonna put more colors. We're gonna determine, you guys will help us to determine the font and maybe help us determine the colors as well. And we're gonna animate and prototype everything.
Yeah, great.
All right.
I think that's coming well. So yeah, we've got 1.5 minutes, so make sure you have your designs up on Discord for the challenge. I'm super excited to look those over in just a minute. So make sure those are up. Yes, we got a suggestion, move the eye up. That's not a bad idea. One weird trick, I don't know if you guys know this for illustration and character design, the lower an eye is on the face, the cuter it tends to be. I think it's something with like, you know, babies have such like big eyes and they have such a big head that we're used to seeing. So I'll do a really quick.
Do you mean like the more centered?
So like,
center?
yeah, let me show you really quickly. I'll do it like a really quick. So let's say this is a face. So here's like giant head and a little mouth. So if we have, say, the eyes, it tends to be, if they're like higher up, it's like less cute, and then you move them down. So it becomes kind of cute, right? It's kind of a cute little face, even though, yeah. Anyway.
That's a good tip.
So, this is the kind of expert advice I'm here to give you. So yeah, so moving the eye up is not a bad idea, especially if we want this to look like a fish that you wouldn't feel bad about catching. You don't want them to be too cute. Yeah, gray or light blue fish line, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, I think that kind of looks nice. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Yeah, in cartoons, characters always have big eyes. So we have, all right, it is time to check the design feedback to see what you guys worked on in the XD challenge. Let's see.
If there aren't any new ones, you could do it from yesterday.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Let's see what you guys are working on.
Bubble tea.
Have you participated in any of these design challenges?
No, I have not. I should get on it.
All right. So it seems like you guys are still wrapping them up. Feel free to get them on when you have them. In the meantime, we're going to look maybe at some that you did yesterday. Let's see. Yesterday, I think was that the burger?
Food ordering.
Food ordering. That's
Food
right.
ordering. That's a fun one too. See it.
Do you use any food ordering?
Uber Eats.
It's
That's
super
about
easy.
it. Yeah.
So you go to current challenge.
Yep.
And you'll go up
Awesome. Yeah.
and then current.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we've got one here.
Oh, there it is. See it.
From Alexandra. It's looking great. I love the
Oh,
colors
look at
of
that.
this. This is really awesome. This looks like so much fun. Happy Pizza Delivery. I really love in the third screen where you have icons for the different ingredients. That's a really fun idea. It makes it really fun and interactive. It gives it a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really great.
Looks great. I love the use of the subtle background too, so your subject really pops off.
Yeah, I like the way in the illustration, all these icons are using so much patterning, like in the pepperoni and in the tomatoes. It gives it a lot of really
Yeah,
great
it looks very
personality.
engaging, really. Even the font,
Yeah.
it really fits the illustration.
Yeah, I think
Good job.
if I were to offer one piece of advice, maybe in the Happy Pizza Delivery, in the type, I think this could be adjusted. It's a little tight between pizza and delivery. So yeah, maybe I would check that. But otherwise, I think this looks
Yeah.
super great, really fun. Let's see what else.
Here.
I'm curious to see this one.
Ooh, let's play
Where
that.
can I go? All right, so we've got one here, maybe with some animation.
Build smoothie.
Awesome.
Oh, look at that ease. Nice.
Oh, fun. That's great.
Banana. Nice.
That's really fun. I like the way you're using the animation here.
Yeah.
It makes it really engaging. Awesome. Yeah.
I love this step-by-step little animation.
Yeah, and I like how easily customizable it is. You could envision somebody using such different things.
Right.
Have you ever had an avocado
This is
smoothie?
great. Yes.
They're great.
They're amazing.
They're so
yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah, you get them all over Asia, especially. Is it a thing in the Philippines too?
Yes, it's pretty big. We used to have an avocado tree in our
Oh,
backyard
amazing.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's looking great.
I miss that tree.
Let's just see. All right. Yeah, awesome. These are looking great.
All right.
So if anybody has one, feel free to get it up.
Yeah.
We'd still love to look at it. So get those up into
let's make some bubble
Discord.
tea.
Yeah, we want to see what you guys are planning for your bubble tea makers, especially with some animation. But good job on those yesterday from the food delivery app. Those looked awesome.
Yeah, great job.
So we've got two icons getting here, and you can start to see there's a little bit of a personality coming together. Yeah, these are looking great. I love your feedback on these. We've had some really good ideas on these.
Great.
Here's another one we started for
Whale
whale
watching.
watching.
That's awesome.
Pretty simple. Just a whale tail with some water. I would say looking at it though, I realize now the colors are starting to shift a little bit, right? These first two we worked on are kind of a little more desaturated. This blue is a little bit more
Right.
saturated than the others, so I think we should probably start to pull it together into a similar
Nice.
language. Yeah, so.
Do you always audit your colors after illustrating?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, especially with something like this where I'm still sort of feeling it out as I go, I definitely like to kind of keep an eye on it just to make sure that everything's staying consistent. Yeah. Maybe for the outside, I'll pull the orange we established. Ooh, that doesn't read at all. Is color a big part of your practice as well?
Pretty much. I also start with, mood boarding
Yeah,
and then get inspiration from it.
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Maybe we'll do a darker
Colors are
blue
hard.
green.
They're not easy.
Yeah, I love color though. I mean, I think it's definitely something where, it really brings a project together when you have a good color palette.
Yeah.
I do feel like, I think as an illustrator, I love to work with color. I know graphic designers can sometimes be very terrified of color. Back when I
am.
used to take, I went to art center for school, and I used to take a lot of classes with the graphic designers because I liked working between illustration and graphic design. And usually in the class, you could always tell which one was mine when we put our final projects out, because mine would be like crazy colors, and then everybody else would be like
That's awesome.
grayscale,
Though.
black and white. I mean, theirs would also have much, much better typography because they were really great designers, and that was mostly in Illustrator. But yeah,
Yeah.
so working with color can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Fahad, we'd love to get some feedback. What can we do to make
let's
these
hear
guys? What can we make these make these guys better? Thank you, Munir, who says they're awesome designs.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we're working on some different travel and outdoor activity themed icons. I think this one is looking a little gray, right? This background is maybe looking a little too gray. I think we can adjust that. We also want to make sure that it's super clear.
Mm-hmm.
We can also start to work in some more detail, especially if this is getting a little simplified, right?
Julia has a question here. Do you think much about accessible colors as an illustrator?
That's a good idea. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, there's lots of different ways to approach that. One of the biggest things is a lot of it is just in terms of contrast. That's one of the most important elements, especially for accessibility. You really want different colors to contrast well against each other.
Yeah.
There are tools you can use. I think, in general, I do think after a few years I've been able to, I can see contrast pretty well, and I can tell when they're going to be contrast problems. But there are apps you can use, there are plugins you can use to help you check.
Right.
And that can be a really useful tool because you want to make sure that the colors do have enough contrast that they're going to be visible to different people. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, what else should we add to our whale watching app? I mean, there could be some different possibilities. So we have a whale tail. We could add a boat to the
birds.
background. Birds, that could be fun. Yeah. Give it a little bit of life.
There,
Add some seagulls. Let's do a very, very simplified seagull design. Use the pen tool just to give it a little bit of curve.
Julia said maybe some water splash.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, especially where the tail's coming up, right? You guys are coming up with some great ideas today.
Nice.
Awesome, yeah. All right. Yeah, water splash. I think that would be a great thing to add next.
Have you been whale watching before?
I have. So a long time ago, I went.
Have you seen one?
I did, and then they're not they're dolphins, not whales. But while I was in Alaska, I got to see some orcas.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty awesome. There was like a pod of 3 orcas hunting together, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Nice.
I think we also maybe saw a humpback from very far away, and I think I mostly just saw like the spray of its water coming up. But
Nice.
I think sometimes if you're really lucky, you can see the humpback, like they come all the way out of the water and they'll do some pretty awesome
crazy.
stuff. So that would be really awesome to see. I didn't get to see that, but pretty cool. So yeah, maybe we'll add some water splashing up around it. Awesome, thank you, Voodoo Val. She says
Yeah.
these icons read really well, and they look like scout badges. That's good. That was
That's awesome.
our inspiration starting point, so I'm glad those are reading. Thank you.
There it is.
There's a little bit of water coming off. Yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. What else should we add to add a little more personality to these badges as we go? Thinking about adding some more detail, some different ways to do that.
I mean, now that we're adding so much details, I mean, we could definitely use this as the hero image for each activity.
Cool.
And then we could just shrink it down for the icons down below.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
also when we take them into the hero imagery, it could be fun to add a little more complexity
Yeah.
as well. But this is definitely a good starting point. So yeah, if you missed earlier, one of the things I was talking about is when you're working on icons, it can be a great place to start because it forces you to really focus on readability, legibility, issues like contrast. So, as I'm zooming out, I think in general you can still pretty much read all of these.
Yeah.
You can still tell really quickly at a glance what it is, and that's super important.
Right.
When you're dealing with a larger illustration, you can get into a little bit more detail, think about texture, other issues like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think this is looking a little gray, so I'm going to play around with that. It's kind of crazy, but maybe something.
Like a sunset.
Yeah, maybe we can do
pretty cool.
something. Might as well play with our full
Yeah.
palette, right? It's looking a little 80s now. I think turquoise
love
and
it.
pink always come super 80s. That could be an interesting direction for our app. Yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback, though. What else can we what should we do to add to these? I was thinking maybe a boat in the back of the whale watching.
Yeah.
It could be a fun way to add a little more personality. We'd also still love to hear, what do you like to do when you go outside? Our app that we're developing is all about different outdoor
Right.
activities, helping people link up with them. So what are your favorite things to do when you go outdoors? Yeah.
Got the boat.
Yeah, let's make that boat visible.
It's nice.
The top layer of the boat.
So since you're doing this all like solid shapes, do you still outline it?
No.
No, not anymore, huh? No use for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking photos, that's a great way to do it. So let's see, do you use the same amount of element details like stars on all the illustrations that are going to be used in the project? I mean, I think it is definitely important to try to aim for some level of consistency. So, like for now, I think we could probably do some things to add a little bit more detail to this, since the camping illustration is a bit more detailed. That's a great question, Julia. Yeah, I think you do want to make sure that with your icons, as they start to grow as a set, that you do have some level of consistency across the board. So I think, for example, bringing in the birds,
Like
as
subtle
Colt
details,
suggested,
yeah.
and the boat, it starts to bring it to the same level as the tent icon. Justin likes kayaking. That's awesome. Yeah, kayaking is great.
Okay. And paddleboarding is awesome too.
Oh yeah, it's a good workout too. All the balance.
Have you tried it before? Paddleboard yoga?
No, I've not done paddleboard. Have you?
No.
That would be.
It looks super hard though.
I mean, there's already a little element of yoga. You have to like focus on really keeping
right.
good balance and tight core and all that. But yeah, there's a lot of
Nice.
different activities. I gotta look at it. Let's see.
Whale watching.
Yeah, what does that boat look like? That'll help.
This looks like a small.
All right, so we've got some windows. Cool. They're pretty simple, really, I guess. I'll streamline the shape a little bit. Actually, I like that.
I mean, you got the shape right already. That's cool.
Rock climbing, that's awesome. Have you done any rock climbing?
No.
I'm thinking about trying. It seems fun and scary. So
Yeah.
I do tend to try it. If something scares me, I'll usually, maybe I'll try it.
I
Although,
don't think I have enough strength to pull myself up. I would just pull me up.
if you have a good hiking or climbing buddy, then maybe that could work. Running, that's another good one.
Skimboarding and water skiing from Justin.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Justin, you've got some good ideas. I'll pull another color.
Pulling what's that? Window. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we are collaborating on an app that we're designing. And so today, we worked out the wireframe for the app, and we're starting to work on some of the icons.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to be integrating these. So I'll be working on a slightly more complex illustration using our icons as a starting point. And then we are going to actually take those into the app and start to put it all together. It's going to be really fun to see. So looking at this as I zoom out, I start to see that the boat is, I think, way too small to be red, right? So we should probably scale that guy up. It's good to have some contrast of size, but things still need to be readable, right? So Joe Dorga has a suggestion, start indoors with rock climbing. That's a good idea. There's a lot of good rock climbing gyms. That's probably a lot safer than getting right out into the
right.
outdoors and trying it. So Colt, if people want to find your work, where should they look?
You guys can check out my work and behance.net/Colt Solano.
Awesome.
I have some XD projects in there that you guys can check out. Yeah.
Awesome.
I've been getting into photography recently as well. I'm not a professional in any way, just learning, and I don't think I will be. I just want to do it for, just a hobby. But yeah.
That's great. I mean, photography is really great as a designer or as an illustrator because it does make you think about how you see,
Right,
and it makes you
yeah.
think about composition. So
Exactly.
even if your final illustrations are not something you're going to be showing in a gallery,
Right.
I think it's still a great way to build some skills.
And I'm not into like storytelling verbally,
Okay.
but it's nice to kind of tell a story through pictures.
Yeah.
So I love taking pictures of nature, people, candid shots, portraits, and I love taking photography in dark places, low light,
Nice.
things like that. I have some pictures in my Instagram, Colt Solano, but again, it's just my hobby, so don't judge me.
Awesome. Thanks, Vidal, showing our links. That's awesome. People feel free to check us out, follow us. We'd love to see what you guys are working on too. That's awesome. Sweet.
Indoor bouldering is pretty beginner friendly. Oh, there you go. I probably should start
That's
with
a good
that.
starting place. I'm still undecided about that sky. Okay, that's way too 80s for me. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just not really the vibe I wanted. Yeah, Samuel has a
There you
great
go.
point. Everything comes together as one. Photos can make your graphics look better.
Exactly.
Yep.
Nice.
I think I got what you meant, Samuel. Yeah, if you've studied graphic design, it does make your photos better too, because you already have some idea.
True,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for following us, Julia.
You can also add clouds on the sailing, because
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like we have elements above the main subject, just to keep it consistent.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the sailing one is now feeling way too simplified, so we should try to find some ways to add a little more interest to that. That could be one where we do change the sky color a little bit, make it
Oh, there you go. That helps a lot,
Mhm.
like breaking the background.
right.
Yeah, good call. Oh, thanks, Julia, for following us in Behance. That's awesome. We'll follow back for sure.
So it's going to be great tomorrow to see how these really come together. So I'm now working on some of the icons for our app. We've got a great wireframe set up, and tomorrow we're really going to be integrating them. So we're going to focus on how these things come together in a collaboration. Do you do a lot of collaborative work?
With an Illustrator, not really, but with other UI, UX designers. Yeah, we do some research first and then get to work together on a sitemap and wireframes.
Do you enjoy collaborative work? Do you think it's a
I love
challenge?
it. Yeah, it's challenging, of course, but especially when you're dealing with UX, the more people involved, the better.
Right.
I
do you think
truly
that is?
believe that UX is not a one-man job. It's a group effort, so the more people involved, the better.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you know, UX is a combination of past experiences. So if you have
Yeah.
all those data, then that will be really handy to come up with a better UX.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, you know, we each have our own experience, and so different designers can bring different past experience to the table, different ideas about
Right.
accessibility or who the user is.
Exactly.
So all of those things make it a lot better. So
Here's some
Samantha asks, do I only use Adobe Illustrator? So I tend to always start with a pencil drawing. So I start off of the computer, but then I tend to like to work almost exclusively in Adobe Illustrator. So I'll take it in. And then in addition to that, I like to find different ways to bring in the hand into the process. So sometimes that it means I'll paint textures using actual paint, bring
That
those
sounds
into
fun.
Adobe Illustrator. And so I think tomorrow I'm going to be working with a little bit of that as we shift from working on icons into our
Cool.
hero images.
Yeah.
So you'll see how we take something that's maybe, say, a little more simplified into an illustration that's a little bit more complex.
Right.
So tomorrow, as we work together, I'll be working on some slightly more complicated illustrations. That'll be a good place to see how I like to work with Adobe Illustrator. But yeah, what I really love about Adobe Illustrator is there's so many different ways to work with it. You know, you can find what fits with your own style and your own personality. For me, what I really like about it is it's really fun to work with, you know, more graphic shapes, more simplified shapes. Yeah.
That's great.
And feel free to ask either of us if you have any questions
Yeah.
about our process. Like Colt, what are you going to be doing tomorrow?
So I'm going to be integrating all the icons that you're working on right now, and we're gonna animate some of the artworks that you're gonna be doing tomorrow as well.
Awesome.
Maybe tomorrow we could actually do or work in tandem. So yeah, and we're gonna be finishing the UI design using Adobe XD, and I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks to animate it and turn them into a prototype. And yeah, we'll see the finished product by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we'll be back streaming tomorrow at the same time. So definitely come check us out then as we continue to work. So I'm just playing around a little bit with some of the shapes, trying to get a little bit more complexity in some of those to add a little more personality. A little bit like with our wireframes, I like to start with kind of the biggest strokes and then go in and get some more into the details. Yep, so it's almost time to wrap up. We've only got a few more minutes. So definitely hit us up if you have any questions, both about this specific project or about our careers or how we like to work. Definitely. Do you have any fun projects you've been working on lately? Anything you can share?
Yeah.
I know you have to
Not
think
sure
about
if I
those.
could disclose it yet, but lots of good websites.
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
yeah, I've been using XD for all of them, which is
cool.
kind of cool.
You do a lot of web design?
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually pretty busy week,
Oh,
especially
nice.
next week.
Yeah, that's
But,
great.
Yeah.
So we do have a great question. Vidal would love to know some of the designers who inspire us. I like a lot of great mid-century designers.
Oh, great.
Charlie Harper is one of my favorite illustrators, especially since I work so much with wildlife. Charlie Harper was a designer who worked especially in the 50s and 60s and did really incredible illustrations of wildlife. They're very simple, but they still show a lot of personality.
Nice.
So definitely it's a big starting point for me.
Cool.
How about you? Who inspires you?
A lot of people, really. I'm easily get inspired by anybody that I work with. But for UI and UX designers, there's a lot actually. For local, Cody Brown's one of my buddies. Is really good. Always inspired by his work. He's great in choosing colors as well, like the subtle palettes and stuff. But yeah.
Awesome. We do have another question from Ileana. She
Let's see
asks,
here.
when designing small icons like badges, how do you know how much detail is too much? How simple to keep the design iconic and memorable? Yeah, I think the word you really hit on there is iconic. You do want it to be very clear, very readable. And I think partially it just depends on the specific project. I think that there's always different ways to approach it, but usually you should always think about what's going to serve the project best. So for this, honestly, we might be going a little complex, especially if it's going to be on the app. So we might need to actually scale some of these back a little bit. Yeah.
So there's a question from Samuel. Any plans to auto-animate the icons of an interaction tomorrow? Sure, yeah, we could definitely try that. We could have an icon and click into it, and it will expand into a background color, things like that.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, we can definitely show that. Good suggestion.
Awesome. So yeah, if you are, hopefully you're not just tuning in since we're almost done, but we will be back tomorrow and we're going to be really integrating these.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will also be doing a portfolio review at the end of our session
great.
tomorrow. I'm really excited about that, so you
That's
should
awesome.
definitely join us for that. We're going to be looking at some of your Behance portfolios, seeing what you guys are working on. I'm really excited about that. If you are just joining us, feel free to go back and watch from the start. We've had a great schedule today, so you should check those all out on behance.net/live. You can see what we've been doing. You can also check in on the contest or the design challenge from today, and feel free to submit something to that, even though that's over. We'd still love to see
Alright.
that. Yeah.
Cool.
So thank you guys so much
Yeah,
for joining
thank you.
us. Just to recap, I'm Alexander Vidal.
I'm Colt.
So we're super excited to have had you guys today. Tomorrow we will be taking these things together. How do you think they're going to look?
I think it will look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will really match the style of your illustrations, and I'm happy to animate them. I think it will look fun and friendly and simple.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun challenges tomorrow, especially as we work out some of the specifics about typeface and color. So we definitely love to see you guys join us again for that. And also think of
Sounds
any
good.
questions. We'll be back tomorrow, so we'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions about illustration, about UX, UI, We'd love to work with you guys to hear all of that. And make sure to follow us on Behance. Both of us are on there.
That's right.
I'm Alexander Vidal,
And I'm Colt Solano.
so look us up.
All right.
Yep,
Thank you, guys.
awesome.